Hello again, and welcome back to the living room. My name is Joe Young. We're in the middle of a series called What I Like About Christianity. And it came to me, why don't we talk about a few pillar concepts in the Christian faith, in the Christian idiom, that I would like to expound upon, explain, and share my enthusiasm for. And hopefully you can glean something from it as well. Without having to be a particular member of a particular, denomination or sitting in the pews of a Christian church every Sunday, here are some key pillar things that make the Christian faith so powerful. Last week we talked about forgiveness, and actually we could talk about that for so many more talks. It's a really deep topic, and I really feel that everyone's spiritual journey will eventually be a journey of forgiveness. It reminds me of this phrase from my favorite psychologist, David Viscott, who says, "The pain you feel in life is measured by the people you won't forgive." Something to think about. So definitely a life of happiness will be a life of exercising forgiveness. But today I wanted to talk about another key concept, surrender. Now that's not a trendy word for people my age. We don't go around talking about how's it going with your surrendering to God life. It's not a topic you hear every day. But I wanted to share with you, essentially it's my testimony, that when I stopped forcing things to happen in my life, and I was checking with a higher power to sort of be the steering wheel of my life, things flowed way differently. Things got done faster. I was getting a lot more success and feeling more satisfaction about what I was doing with my time and my life. I love that image. God cannot steer a parked car. I love that. So surrendering to God, first off, does not mean take the foot off the gas and sit in your couch and say, well, if the Lord wants me to win the lotto, he'll give it to me. No, that's actually, the dynamic here is more like you're driving a car and your foot is the foot on the gas. How much energy, how much discipline, how much research, work ethic you put into your life matters. But God has a bigger picture of the map. He's got the satellite connection to the GPS. So when we check in and we let God steer with my foot on the gas, that's the best combination. So don't take your foot off the gas, but don't grip that steering wheel so tight that you can't get nudged one way or the other. A lot of us, including myself, who are kind of a stubborn person, has to work on this. There's a spiritual element that happens with surrendering to God, which simply means you're in communication with God and you're telling God, hey God, I want you to really show me the next steps of my life, steer my actions, and where you tell me to go, I'm going to do my best to go there. That's really kind of my internal way of praying, that I'm telling God, I'll do what you want. Thy will be done. Let me know how you want me to serve this world. This is a very key part of having a spiritual life. The Bible has some really amazing verses on this, that all of heaven rejoices over one repentant person who is willing to just say, look, I want to change my ways. And I know that feeling as a teacher. If I have a student that's just doing something wrong, a lot of these guitar players, they play with their hands all kind of wrong. But if they don't want to change what they're doing, and they don't want to kind of quote unquote surrender their ideas about how they're doing it, then the teacher can't get in. The teacher can't tell them what to do. So this sense of humility, I've tried it my way. I've tried my stubborn ways, and it keeps just leading me in the same problems. Do you ever feel like the things you get stuck on happen to be things that happen over and over and over and over again? That's generally a sign that some surrendering might be needed. Your ideas, your brain power leads you to the same blocks. you need a fresh perspective. God is a very intelligent being. We forget that, we talk about God's love, but we also forget to remember that God is a master, intelligent person, an intelligent genius of all things intellectual. We should surrender our stubborn ways over to God, but the good part is we can also surrender our burdens. This is another part of surrendering that the Christian thought is so powerful. You don't have to shoulder your burdens alone. You can share them with the Heavenly Father. And I'm a firm believer. You get input, you get comforting from the Heavenly Father when you do that, when you open that prayer. God, be with me on this. Help me through this. Show me what I need to learn here. God, can you believe this person betrayed me so much? Just share with God. Just make it relational. When we have an attitude of surrender, the feeling I get from it is it clears the noise out of our life. Because a lot of times we want to get things in life, but we want to get it our way. We want to get things like, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to work too hard. So, and there's so many variations of this. I want to make a lot of money, but I want to be a musician. Well, guess what? Musicians don't always make a lot of money. So here's something that happens in the music world. I want to make a lot of money as a musician, but I only want to play my original music. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many musicians are right in that boat. They detest playing cover songs. They only want to play their music, but they want to get rich and famous by doing it. Well, good luck, guys, because that's a very small percentage. And then you know what? Even some of those people complain. I want to make a lot of money playing only my music, but I only want to look and dress the way I want to look and dress. Sometimes the record company comes in and says, no, you got to look like this. So we're doing this all the time. I've met some people that say, I want to succeed in life. And sometimes it's like their parents are handing them a wonderful business, for instance. But they're like, no, I don't want to live in my father's shadow. I'm going to do something else. So we have these concepts. Does that make sense? It's like, I want to be special. I want to be different. I want to do it this way. We have concepts kind of fixed in place, and it's almost like if God's direction's trying to shine through, it gets a little wobbly, right? It's blocked. It's crooked. The path into your heart is a little bit blurry. When you surrender and you say, oh wow, God, I'm willing to cast those things aside. Maybe you don't want me to feel all special like I'm a great original musician. Maybe you don't want me to worry about, am I just living in my father's shadow? Maybe you don't want me XYZ. What do you actually just want me to do, God? Free of the BS. You're going to get a more clear answer when you have that position of, hey, just surrender. And this was definitely my testimony, because I've told it a few times, but just in a nutshell, when everything about my songwriting career just seemed to fail and get blocked and frustrated, and then I got really inspired about reading the New Testament and doing these preaching on Sunday and all this, I really had to go to God, like, what are you doing with my life, God? This makes no sense. And then the answer very clearly, that's almost like I could hear it, was these words, do both. Joe, just do both. Keep studying, keep giving that message, but start writing music to match that message. And then light bulbs went off. My energy and enthusiasm for writing music just went up through the roof. Started writing again. I had taken a break because I just lost my motivation. And so that surrender, you might think, oh, I don't want to surrender what I'm holding on to dearly. It's an amazing trick. You let go. If you learn to let go, you get filled up with all kinds of new passion, new ideas, new enthusiasm, and your life starts taking off exponentially faster in the right direction. So, something spiritual happens. It's deeper than just a mindset shift. You know, what happens here is kind of interesting. If we go all the way back to the Garden of Eden, there's a very spiritual principle underneath the idea of surrender. You know, Lucifer as an angel was supposed to surrender under Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were supposed to be the rulers with the dominion, right? Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. And here's Lucifer up there. He's like God's best buddy who built the earth. And he's like, no way am I going to surrender. I'm not going to let these little pipsqueaks rule me. I've been here way longer than you little twerps. So he had a big problem with this, and he went over to the side. He didn't go under Adam and Eve. He went over to the side. He said, you know what? I'm going to compete with you, God. I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to give my own word, and we'll see what they believe. Sadly, mankind has been very confused as to what to believe ever since. But that's why it's powerful as children born in the fallen world. As children born in the fallen world, when you make a decision to say, no, I'm going to surrender, and in the Christian faith, it's not Adam that we surrender under like it was supposed to be. It's the new Adam, the second Adam, Jesus. When I go under and I surrender under Jesus, then I'm doing something that Lucifer never could. And that is what creates this separation. There's like a little line that you cross over and you go under the perfected Adam. Satan cannot follow you there. That's why there's this sense of spiritual clarity. The negative spiritual realms can't follow you over to that place. That's a place Satan can never go. And why can't Satan go there? Because as soon as Satan does that, he's no longer Satan. He's back into his original role. And we'd have to do a master class on the principles of the fall and what really happened to go into this. But really, it's a fascinating exploration of the fall that we could start to realize that if Lucifer had just gone under Adam as a servant, that's what angels were supposed to be, servants, then everything would have been okay. And he himself would have been much happier. But that's why we have to go over with the heart of a servant to the Adam and say, look, you must know what I should do with my life. You should tell me how to serve this world. And you know what the great thing is? God's not going to make you be a doormat. Okay? God's not going to send you somewhere you don't want to go. It's kind of true. Like he's going to use your passions, your creativity, and he's going to find things in your life that just exponentially bring more meaning and joy into your life. Did you know that sometimes, actually most of the times, our plans for ourselves is too small? Like, I've got this idea, right? I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to buy a home and a summer home. I want to retire, and that's it. Well, guess what? If you're surrendering to God, God's going to take you as far as you're willing to go. He might have you go bigger. And then your life gets more exciting. So surrendering to God, it's a powerful concept. I want you to think about it. You know, am I stuck on, no, but I spent 6 years getting my PhD in this, so I have to keep doing this. Think about it. Maybe you're not happy because you never let God steer you into the thing you really want to do, really meant to do. God's going to bring you on whatever God tells you to do. I know one thing. He's going to lead you on a mission of unity, of harmony, a way of life that strives to be harmonious. That means unity and harmony in the mind and the body, free of addictions, right? When you're addicted to something, it's your body telling your mind what to do. He's going to get rid of that. We don't want that. We want mind unified with the body. He's also going to lead you towards being a harmonious person inside of a family. Marriage, husband and wife, parents and kids. Those things are definitely what God's going to be asking of you and leading you towards and helping you to do. So a life of surrender doesn't sound very trendy. It sounds like, oh God, but I don't want to give up my iPhone and I don't want to live in a third world country or something. I'm here to tell you it's not that. It's not going to be that unless that's your real passion. Then God can work with your real passion. It's not a trendy word, but I'm here to tell you it's a very exciting life. Try it out for yourselves. Set aside your preconcepts. You know, why are we so hooked on needing to feel valuable because we work so hard? Needing to feel valuable because we make a lot of money? Needing to feel valuable because I'm oh so creative? I know a lot of musicians might relate to that like I do. I need to express myself. I'm so creative, and that's the only reason I'm valuable. Look, put all that to the side for a second. Ask God just directly, what should I do with my life? Give that a try, brothers and sisters. I think you'll find if you just follow that through for a little while, life could open up for you in a very interesting way, in a very exciting way. And then you can share your burdens with someone, the Heavenly Parent. And there's a lot of comfort and a lot of strength that comes from that. So we'll talk about another one next week. That's all for this week on The Living Room. God bless.